One of the things that I think is so special about music, and maybe Christmas music in particular, is how it can connect us with very specific memories. For example, anytime I hear "O Holy Night," and thank you for that, Wayne, I'm reminded of the fragrant smell of sheep. Now, this may seem like an odd connection, so allow me to provide you with a little bit of context. The church that I grew up in Baton Rouge, occupied a very particular corner of the holiday festivals and celebrations market. Each Christmas season, my church would present a living nativity. Now, if you aren't familiar with the concept of a living nativity, it is a live-action recreation of the birth events and the birth story of Jesus, complete with full costumes, live animals, actors portraying angels and shepherds and the Holy Family, the whole bit. Now, these can be done as drive-thrus, where you follow along a path in your car and the scenes are staged for you out in a field. I've seen it done as a hayride, where you load up in the back of a trailer and it pulls you out to see all the different scenes. Still others are presented. We're going to be okay with that. Still others are presented as outdoor theater, where the patrons remain in one place and the events unfold in front of them. Ours was one of these park and get out of your car variety. I participated in our living nativity every year from about third or fourth grade, when I had the role of Shepherd Boy 1, all the way through high school when I was Joseph, and I even landed the very coveted role of the Purple King one year. He had the best outfit. Got to be a part of the procession of the Magi as they marched toward the cradle to Robert Shaw Corral's version of "O Come All Ye Faithful," another one of those music and memory connections. Now, I have no doubt that the entire production is much grander in my memory than it probably was in real life. But for me, growing up, Christmas just wasn't Christmas without participating in our living nativity. Now, the way that we presented ours was really more pantomime than it was acting. There was a recorded track that played all the dialogue, and the performers simply acted out or lip-synced according to what was being heard. Well, one year the production had to be altered significantly due to the fact that a building expansion project had landed a brand new sanctuary right in the middle of the space where the shepherds watched over their flocks by night. So we had to rearrange everything, which meant a new soundtrack had to be recorded. And lucky me, I was asked to lend my voice to the project. Of course, one of the big scenes was when the angel appears to the shepherds, does their pantomime to "O Holy Night." There's that sheep smell connection for you. And announces Jesus' birth. Now, during the recording of this scene, the production hit a bit of a snag. A boy named Michael, who had been selected to voice one of the young shepherds, was having a little bit of trouble getting his line right. His only line, mind you. Now, in the mind of the director, the line was intended to be a reflective response of acceptance to the good news that was just announced by the angel, and was to be something along the lines of, "And he was born this very night." Well, Michael seemed to hear something different, because he read it more as a question of wonderment. "And he was born this very night?" So the director stopped and said, "No, Michael, this is a statement, not a question. So I want you to read it. And he was born this very night." Do you understand that? Michael says, "Yep, I got it." Action. "And he was born this very night?" Cut. "Michael, you hear how you're going up at the end? We want you to go down at the end. Do you understand?" "Okay, I got it this time." Action. "And he was born this very night?" Over and over and over again this happens, until finally the director said, "You know what, forget it. We'll just go with what he's going to do." So what was preserved in the recording was not a response of appreciative acceptance, but rather one of bewildered confusion. But if we think about it, isn't that a more appropriate response? Isn't that more in line with how a child might respond to this kind of news? Are kids known for their calm acceptance of good news? Or is it more likely that a child would respond in a way that conveys what they have just heard defies possibility? Parents, imagine if tomorrow morning you want to surprise your kids with a really special gift. So your kids come down, they go into the living room or the den or wherever it is that the toys have been left. They move through the room, they find their stockings, they carefully pull it down off the mantle, they find an envelope inside. They open up the envelope and inside, tickets to Disney World. Wow. Now imagine if your child responded by saying, Disney World. This should prove to be a delightful experience for everyone involved. Thank you, Father and Mother, for such a thoughtful gift. Would you be satisfied with that kind of response from your kids? No. We would want them to freak all the way out. We want them bouncing off the wall, screaming, "We're going to Disney World." Nobody wants their good news to be met with calm acceptance. We want it to be met with shouts of joy and excitement, maybe a little bit of disbelief. So here we are again tonight, in this familiar place, singing these familiar songs, and once again telling this story that I fear has become all too familiar to us. We have become much too comfortable, and we respond with grateful acceptance of the good news. But if there's ever been news shared that seems too good to be true, would it not be this? Would it not be the announcement that the God that created the stars and the planets and the universe, whose vastness is beyond understanding and is now contained in arguably the most vulnerable state we can think of, and all of this was done as an act of love? Should that kind of announcement be met with calm acceptance? Or is that the kind of news that causes shepherds to abandon their jobs in the middle of the night to run and see for themselves? That causes angels to break out into song? That causes a sitting king to quake in his royal boots? That causes astronomers from several countries away to embark on a journey of discovery? What if our response to this good news could be different this year? What if this year, rather than a reflective acceptance, we were to respond with a little childlike exuberance that a story like this truly deserves? What if this year we responded by living our lives in such a way that people would have no choice but to think we really believe all that hope, peace, joy, and love business that we talk about? What if we responded in a way that would reveal to the world that no matter how dark things may seem, we know that the light that has now entered the world will never be overcome and can never be extinguished? What if this year were different? What would that look like? My brother-in-law, Tim, wrote a song several Christmases back that speaks to this idea. He says, "I have decided to celebrate this year by sitting in a big, expensive, comfy leather chair. Nod off while the radio plays a Christmas tune, but that's not all I will do. I have decided I'll go shopping for some toys, a baseball glove, a Superman, something that makes some noise. I will sip on eggnog and I'll have myself some fun, but that's not all I will do. I will make some noise for children who work 10-hour days. I'll wail and moan for those who work a lot for a little pay. I'll be a drop in the bucket to stop a war, pick any war. I'll shape my life by more than what I own or am shopping for." Friends, the choice is ours, how we choose to respond to the good news of Jesus' birth. My hope is that this familiar story can once again be made new, and that our response will spur us to make this a world in which everyone will be able to join the angels in singing glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill towards all people. Lord, make it so this Christmas. Amen.